I've got my pitching machine hooked up here again, and it's just firing rapid fire. I have maybe 3 seconds between shots, and it's not enough time for me to get set up, so I'm really panting through this whole thing. But I'm going to try to, again, I have it like under 20 feet away, so it's pitching real fast at me. I want you to be able to see the swing from the side this time, but you can probably hear the little golf ball sized wiffle ball being ejected from the machine, and you can tell that I don't give myself much time to swing at it. I don't know that I'll hit many of these, but I'm going to try to make a little contact and then tell you what I'm emphasizing this time around. I just don't have much time between pitches at all. Okay. Oh boy, I got all out in front of that one. That wasn't bad. Way out in front. Let's do 5 more. Oh, crazy. It was just too high. Got a piece. A little better. That wasn't bad. And that last one wasn't bad at all. That was a line drive a little bit to the second base side, so I actually pulled it just a teensy-weensy bit, but that was because I cheated. I really got my weight going forward before I saw the ball. So anyway, let's just try 5 more. I would be happy with 1 good hit on a round like this. Again, a little bit early. Fought that one off. That was high. Pretty good hit. Oh. Oh boy. Are you like this? I like to quit on a good one. I don't want to quit on a worm burner. Come on. Oh. Two more. I'm going to drop dead doing this someday. Oh, that's a good one. Wasn't bad. So let me tell you what I'm trying to do. Got my wood. For one thing, I just like wood better because you can't find a metal bat that has a subtle taper between the handle and the barrel. And when I'm getting fooled on some of those inside pitches, I'd like to have a slight chance of pushing it over the shortstop's head, perhaps. Again, this machine, it's my fault because I abused the battery, so it doesn't give me a nice predictable 8 or 10 seconds between pitches. I really had to rush it. But because I am so close, if I can hit a few low line drives, and I was actually hitting quite a few this time off of this machine with this tiny teensy weensy degree of reaction time, then I know that in a more realistic setting, and it wouldn't just be, I think even a big league fastball wouldn't be any faster than what I was just looking at. But even more importantly, I would have a human body to key on. I could, look at the leg, the parting hands. With this, I don't have that. I have a light that blinks, and by that time, boy, I'd better get loaded in a hurry. So this is unrealistic in a rather unforgiving and uncharitable way, but I had a good amount of success here today under the circumstances. Again, trying to go up the middle into the opposite field. I'm trying to hit low line drives, and I wasn't hitting many pop-ups at all. I was getting the backspin, the slight backspin. I hope when I look at this that I'll be showing you that even though I'm coming down on the ball with my swing, I'm also transferring my weight forward. And that's the real challenge when you're looking at pitching that's coming this fast, is to get off your back foot and get your weight forward. If you get your weight forward, what seems like a really downward hack suddenly levels off a great deal. So I'm entering the ball at a slightly downward angle, but in a nice straight line. And that should give me modest backspin so that the ball will carry a long way without getting up very high. As a hitter, that's what I want to do. That's going to make me happy every time, even if it goes right at someone. Well, what I was especially working on, again, in trying to emulate the hitters of the Deadball era and even the previous generation, I'm pointing the front foot outward, and I have to kind of make myself do that because it doesn't seem quite natural. And one of the ways that I do that is to really get my bat down here, pointed to the forward, almost into the ground. And that does a couple of things that I really like. One of them is that as I'm bringing the barrel back, I want my back foot to kind of pass the barrel. I want them to move simultaneously. The barrel is going to slide at its position, and at just that instant, the back foot is going to slide forward. And when I do that, I find that I have almost no up and down vertical hop in my head. So I'm preserving a really straight line of sight at the ball with both eyes. And people can criticize this. When we first kind of researched this for my book, Landing Safeties, I thought about it and sort of nudged it off the table at the end because I didn't like the idea of hopping off the ground to get loaded. But I'm not doing that now. And some of the reason for that is the outward turned foot. I'm a little bit bent over too, and I preserve that. I have a very stable head angle, and of course I'm cocking the front foot a little bit once I get loaded. That's a long way. I feel like I've really advanced from, no, I don't want to do that. But what I was doing in this video was a whole lot better, I think, in terms of keeping direct eye contact with the ball in the pitcher's hand than what you see so many big leaguers doing nowadays with the open stance, and then they close as they load up. Well, they're big leaguers, so I guess it works for them, but nevertheless, I think that there's less movement in my eye on the pitcher than with what they're doing. They gotta, when they're going from open to close like that, that's gotta, if not vertically, horizontally, maybe pull the back eye off the ball a little bit, so I don't have to worry about that this way. Everything's going toward the pitcher, good line of sight. The other thing that I love about this, and I've discovered that this is you wouldn't believe how important this is, but it makes a big difference between contact or no contact, or low line drive or pop up. It's just huge, it really is. And when I'm doing this with the barrel as opposed to this, when I really get this down, I'm putting the handle in my, what Ripken Jr. calls the knocker knuckles. I'm putting the handle down in those knuckles, and I'm going to keep it there. I want it to stay there because that really lets my wrists work. When I go after the ball, I'm pulling down with the bottom hand and forward punching at the ball with the top hand. When I get those two to work together, I got that linear stroke, and it's a very quick stroke. I can go right into the ball. If I have my thumbs locked around the bat, actually the barrel will move much slower, and it's probably not going to move in a straight line either. If you have your thumbs locked around, it's got to dip a little bit. So I almost never see a big league hitter who has his thumbs off the bat today the way that guys, even in Ted Williams, you forget about the dead ball era, but you know what Ted Williams says in The Science of Hitting? Pick up your bat like it's an axe, and you're picking the axe up right off the ground. You have the head of the axe on the ground, and you're just picking it up. Well, how are you holding that? You don't, maybe some of you guys have never used an axe, but you don't want to swing at a tree trunk like that. You pick it up like that, and you get those flexible wrists to work for you. So, you know, I'd say up until mid-80s or 1990, I'm talking about the 20th century now, until relatively recently, hitters wanted to use the Ted Williams grip, which was essentially the dead ball grip. So that's one of the things that I'm also doing by starting out with the barrel down here. So I'm having fun with this. I'm having some success with it. I'm excited about it. It seems like every time I do a good session and I go back and think about it, now you have to always think about your practice and try to find a way to get better. But if I really apply myself and analyze, I can usually find that little bitty push forward that I'm looking for to make myself a little bit better. So we'll just keep going with this.